We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. We see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He's starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Isekai, he don't live in reality. Shake back off, come on fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. We see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Had a Legion Quirk. This is part 4, and in the last part, we went over on how much Izuku's life has somewhat improved since he transferred to Somei's private academy, and since working with that at the HPSC. He doesn't really trust them thanks to that of his, sentient quirks, but he's still willing to go through with it to help him improve his Legion quirk and also grow stronger as well. As for his time at Somei, he's become quite popular among some people as well. Some people envy him, while some people kind of can't admire him as well. He's also good friends early on with that of Ida, as he plans on going to. He's also awakened that of two new quirks. One by the name of Gil, who has that of a strength enhancement, durability, speed, or in simpler terms, an aura manipulation quirk. And the other being that of Gensu, which is an earth manipulation quirk. Add that with Ryuji, Riku, and Yuma, Izuku now has that of 5 sentient quirks currently right now, and also meeting a certain young woman by the name of Ipan Josei, or as an more on English way, Josei Ipan, actually. So with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Months have now passed since Izuku is beginning his final year at Somei, as he continues to develop, as his sentient quirks continue to develop and grow stronger with the HPSC's watch. Since then, he hasn't been able to awaken any new quirks for the time being. I'm guessing it's mainly due to him needing to store up even more energy for the quirks to develop inside of his mind, and for his body to acclimate to the new quirk as well. As they begin doing more and more tests on Izuku, they begin to actually find out that depending on how many, the quirks can also change from not just that of mainly emitter quirks, as Izuku's mainly creating from his psyche. His quirks can also take the sentient quirks can also take the form of transformable quirks, also that of, and mutant type quirks too. For a good example, if Izuku creates that of a mutant type quirk that gives him like certain animal features, his body would have to acclimate, morph, and basically, consume to have that of a transformation, so it can actually become a transformation quirk. Not to hurt or basically destroy his body. There are also other forms of mutant type quirks too, like for example, certain people that had to have, different skin tones or certain growths across their body, or something that can't be turned off, like a quirk that enhances a person's senses, for example, which is considered a mutant type quirk as well. It just proves that Izuku's body must have to change, alter, and slowly develop for those quirks to not basically become harmful for him, which means it's more of his body going through metamorphosis naturally instead of forcefully. A few scientists believe that Izuku could have forced it, but let's just say his sentient quirks refuse to let that happen. If it happens, it happens. Last time it forcefully happened, when Ryuji came out, Izuku literally passed out from a coma into that of a small little coma after all. Not gonna let that happen again, especially on their watch. However, as for Izuku's development, on the other hand, besides his quirk developing, Izuku has actually started learning how to use his sentient quirks for himself. Just as many of them said before, Izuku's quirk can develop. He can use their quirks as well, even combine them to improve and enhance their capabilities as well. Not only that, all the knowledge that they use for their quirks as well goes into Izuku, mainly because they are him and he is them as well. Just some of them are a lot more emotional than Izuku is. Well, that isn't more timid and shy though. But speaking of Izuku's personality, since then he's become a lot more cheerful, talkative, speaking up to a lot more people too as well. And he's actually gotten out of his shell lately. Normally stuff like this would have taken years for it to happen, but now it's quite something, to be fair. The scars of the bullying and abuse won't fade, but the trauma and pain and suffering will. And the ones helping him with that is normally his new friends at Some, counting Ida, and his new walking friend when he gets off of school and heading to the HPSC, being Miss Josei. When speaking with her, he can't help but actually, resonate with her, given that she reminds him so much of himself, to be fair. Always apologizing, always sad, always not wanting to cause any trouble for others, but not really wanting to hurt those in need as well. It's because of this that the two become pretty fast friends. Pretty weird for a young adult basically being friends with a middle schooler. But even so, she can't help but, look up to Izuku as well. The main reason being him trying to become a hero. She's always admired and looked up to heroes as well, and always believed in them too. Besides the size of her quirk, which is the only thing that's going for her, to be honest, her quirk alone that basically makes her look like that of a blue fox doesn't really do anything else for her. Because of this, she gave up on her dream of wanting to be a hero as well, and just decides to be that of a typical office worker instead. But even with her dream basically, crushed of wanting to be a hero, she doesn't regret it at all. She still has somewhat of a nice and peaceful life, to be honest. Even though there are some people that look down on her, mainly because of her mutant quirk, mainly being a heteromorphic quirk user, to be honest. Even in this day and age, discrimination between that of heteromorphs is still rampant. It's even worse in the countryside. But having at least one person that doesn't see her for her quirk or see her for her size is kind of nice, even if it is a middle schooler. Speaking of Josei Ipan, she is currently working at that of a well-known company, actually. This company is one of the shell companies connected to that of the Detnera company, actually. The same massive company that's in charge of making support gear for everybody's day-to-day uses, so life won't be such a toil for them. Due to this, she mainly works in that of accountant, actually. Toil away in that of numbers, but even so, she doesn't let it get to her too much, at least. Math was always her specialty, but some say that she can be at least a bit scatterbrained, actually. Add that with her timidness, and people kind of underestimate her or see her as a bit of a pushover. Given her tall size, it does make her a bit threatening to some people, even though they have no reason to be threatened by. With now finishing up her work, she can't help but sigh out of relief before thinking, with all of this, I thought I'd be staying here a lot longer. With then soon one of her coworkers saying, "Hey, Ipan, just finished up work. A few of us girls and us guys are heading to that of the bar to celebrate a job well done. Want to come along?" Within, she couldn't help but feel a little bit nervous, but then saying, sorry, can't. I actually have some other things to do, to be honest. Especially grocery shopping, so I don't need to be, well, intoxicated to do that. Within, one of her other coworkers saying, well, that's a shame. Well, whenever you get the chance, tag along if you want to. You know the spot. Within, saying, yes, thank you. With that, they begin to walk out. As then, she soon gets out of her chair, and then walking off too, heading to the changing room, and then going into that of her casual clothes and getting out of her work outfit. As she does, she soon about to leave the building. Within, one of her coworkers saying, oh, hey, iPad. Within, seeing her coworker saying, oh, hi, what is it? Saying, the manager basically wanted me to pass these out to everybody during work hours, but I forgot to give them to at least to a few people. You were one of them. Sorry. Within, as the guy offering the book to her, as it being a red book with that of looks like somewhat of a scary black mask on it. As the title says, The Meta Liberation War. Within, she blinking multiple times saying, the Meta Liberation War? What's this about? Saying, beats me. The manager just said that the boss wanted us to give these out to those in that of the financing department. You know how CEOs get. If they find a good read or anything like that, they basically just want to give it off to their employees, so to pass it off for their favorite authors to get even more famous. Honestly, I would have been more excited if it was like a hero biography on maybe All Might or Endeavor. But I did read the book for a bit. Talks about wanting to be free to use our quirks however we see fit. Personally, it doesn't sound too half bad, but if you think about it from another reason, like maybe from that of a person whose quirk isn't that useful or doesn't do anything too cool or flashy, it's kind of a nightmare to let those with that of crazy and more dangerous quirks to be running around doing whatever the hell they want. You know? Within, she couldn't help but say, yeah, honestly, it would basically make people no different from villains if you think about it. Within, the guy saying, exactly. At any rate, I gotta go catch up with the others. Have a good night. Within, the guy basically running off, within saying, yeah, good night. After timidly saying that, she soon also walks off as well. However, little they know their little conversation was being monitored, especially by that of the building security cams. Within, one of the security guards couldn't help but also sigh before then pressing that of a certain button saying, sir, it seems we have a few non-believers that need to be taken care of. Yes, their appearances is that of a man with that of black hair and currently wearing that of black business jacket and pants. As for the other, she being that of a tall blue-skinned fox woman with blonde hair, wearing a short sleeve white blouse and that of blue skirt as well. The second one you can't miss. Best to take care of her in the shadows when nobody can see her. As for the other, same as well. Shame too. Both of them had promise. It's just the same that they didn't agree with the ideas of the army. After that, he soon hangs up, within saying, all in the name of the Meta Liberation. We'll just make it seem like a typical villain attack mugging, now turned into that of an accidental murder. Simple and to the point. With that, Josei basically continues walking to that of her apartment as she's heading to the train station right now. Turns out she lives all the way in Mustafa, just like that of Izuku as well. But unlike Izuku has to take that of 2 trains to get to Tokyo and then get to his school, all she needs to do is just take 1 train instead, which isn't too hard. The only difference is being her size, of course. It's hard to stand out in a crowd when you're basically taller than most people after all. Good thing they make train lines for people like her. As riding on the train, she couldn't help but look at that of a message from Izuku, She still can't believe that she's close friends with that of a hero hopeful, one who dreams of being a great hero, as she hears that he's planning on going to UA for that of hero education after all. Part of her is really hoping that he makes it, but the other part of her is still pretty jealous after all. Not being able to become a hero herself, it kind of irks her at least a little bit that a kid like him, a kid that doesn't seem like to have that of a pretty flashy quirk, given that he never really explained what his quirk truly is, to be honest, even adds more and more to the mystery, especially the so-called after-school activities that he goes through. He never really says to her what they were. All she said is that they were basically school activities to help him improve with that of his quirk. Hopefully, it's nothing too dangerous or that gets him in trouble with the law. After getting out of her thoughts, the train reaches that of her line as she leaves the train and then heading straight back home. But like she said before, she does have to pick up at least some groceries, not a lot. The only reason she didn't bother, going out with that of her coworkers is because she's not a big, drinker, to be honest. She never was when she became the legal age to drink at 20 after all. It was never really her thing. Heading to that of the nearby convenience store that's pretty at least 2 blocks away from that of her home, she just grabs a few small things and just plans on heading straight home. On the way there, unaware, she had no idea that at least that of 3 people were following her. These 3 people were the same those that the security guard called for a little while ago, as they're currently just keeping and trailing her before finding the perfect opportunity to end her life. However, also at the nearby train station, as Izuku is currently getting off the train, looking at least a bit exhausted and tired right now. Getting out of his mind, currently both Ryuji and Yuma are currently walking by his side. Within, Yuma saying, "Cheer up, Izuku, you'll get it next time. This is the first time in a while since you haven't been able to awaken a new, sentient quirk, so don't let it get to you." Within, Izuku saying, I know, it's just, I was hoping to awaken at least something that would help me improve a little bit more. If Ryuji basically couldn't help but scoff a little bit, saying, "Come on, Izuku, stop complaining. You're improving quite a bit, especially when you don't need to bring us out just in case. You're able to use our quirks pretty easily." Saying, I know, it's just that I still want to have at least more chances to improve and more chances to cover my weaknesses. I know you guys are doing your best to do that, but even so, I at least want to. Within, soon, Ryuji couldn't help but wrap his arm around that of his main quirk user, before then saying, yeah, we get it, you get it. Stop beating yourself up and continue to try and improve, after all. That's all that really matters. Focus on that, and you'll continue to improve. Within hearing this, Yuma couldn't help but jump up in the air while walking backwards, but then saying, Ryuji's right, Izuku. Continue to improve in your own way, in your own style. While time goes on, you'll be able to awaken a new quirk. And during that, you'll be able to find out new ways to improve and get stronger. After all, our main duty is to protect you. While you get stronger, we'll protect you to do so. So, keep at it. As Yuma continues having that of a big bright smile, even in that of the night sky, with Ryuji having that of a deadpan look, saying, seriously? How the hell is this bright and bushy-tailed bastard he was able to have that sparkling even at night? But then Izuku couldn't help but chuckle, as heading straight home, he's soon noticing that of Ipan, within saying, hey, Miss Ipan! As he was about to call out to her, he's soon noticing that of the 3 figures following after her, with then soon seeing that of the few figures getting closer and closer, with then soon Ryuji noticing this, saying, I got a bad feeling about this, Izuku. Within Yuma noticing as well, saying, they don't seem like they're good friends. Villain attack? With then Izuku saying, yeah, we better call a pro. With then soon, Ryuji saying, screw that noise. You know how long it would take until a pro shows up? With then Izuku saying, but we can't. I mean, I can't. You guys can't. With then Yuma saying, then call a pro while we're going to have to stop them. We'll basically use our quirk in that of self-defense. It's proper, don't you think? With then soon Izuku saying, actually, yeah, that would work. With then soon, while basically sending that of a text message to 101, which is the Japanese version of 911, telling them that a villain attack is happening in that of the residential district in Mustafu. Please send a hero as fast as you can. Then after saying that, Izuku, Ryuji, and Yuma head straight for the tall fox quirk-like woman. With then Josei still unaware of her assailants and aware of the person that's trying to help her. She soon reaches that of a pretty tall alleyway, as she's almost out of one more block away from her home. With then soon being pushed into the alleyway by somebody, with then the two others following after her, with then she being pinned to the wall, wondering what's happening, as she's basically scared for her life right now, as one of the assailants being that of a guy with that of silver long raggedy hair, as it looks like that of bones basically coming out of his arms that look almost close to that of spikes actually. Another one being a guy that looks like he has that of a, fish bowl over his head with multiple tubes of water coming from his back and his arms. And the last person being that of a plain looking woman with that of dirty blonde hair, as she having that of a just a regular, open jacket with cutout sleeves and wearing that of a long black skirt. And she looks like she has one of the biggest grins on her face. As Josei is basically utterly terrified, wondering, please don't hurt me. If it's money you want, you can take it. I don't want any trouble, please. With then soon, the bone guy couldn't help but say, aw, look at that. She's offering her money already. That's perfect. Makes things easier to get this job done sooner. With then hearing that, Josei couldn't help but feel at least a sign of relief. Before then, the bones in that of his right arm began to extend towards that of her neck, as she realized that they're still not going to let her go. Then saying, but unfortunately for you, miss, somebody's offered us to kill you because you don't follow the same ideas as the army. And those who don't follow our ideas must be purged for a world of true freedom. And she couldn't help but think that her life is about to flash before her eyes, and she's basically praying that a hero shows up, hoping that somebody shows up at least. Before then, soon, a bird-shaped fireball basically sent flying towards that of the bone-like guy, burning both his clothes and his skin, alongside his bone spikes as well, as he soon screams in agony and pain. With then, soon, Josei seeing this, as she realized that even though the guy was being burned, her clothes and alongside that of her skin and fur were not being burned at the same time, which means that the flames were being quite controlled enough to not hurt that of her. But then saying, seriously? You guys were attacking a woman because she didn't share the same ideals? I can tell this is basically a hit job. What kind of bastards would attack that of a simple office worker? As then the other assailant with that of the fishbowl and that of the tubes going from water, basically saying, "You damn brat!" As then thinking that his water quirk would be able to douse out that of Ryuji's flames. Before then, soon, when winds began to slice right through that of his water tubes. With then soon, the guy couldn't help but scream a little bit, saying, "Wait, no! That was my oxygen tank!" With then Yuma saying, "Oops, sorry. I thought that was the one that was basically keeping you, that you were planning on using to fire at. My apologies. I'll just knock you out already." With then raising up his left hand as a small tornado basically goes below him, sucking him up inside, spinning him around. Before then, Ryuji basically thrust his arm sideways, knocking him into that of the nearby alley wall, also basically cracking both his, helmet and knocking him out at the same time from the impact as well, with then slumping down to the ground as the last assailant being that of the plain-looking woman, with then saying, "Damn you brats! Seriously, twins with that of a twin with a fire quirk and another twin with that of a wind quirk? These two have truly amazing meta abilities. If the army knew about these guys, they would do anything to take them, and also even bring them under the flag." Within thinking, maybe this is my chance. They may have a thing for this woman, but look at them. They basically have no qualms in using their meta abilities. Truly, they must be perfect. They must have the same ideas as the Meta Liberation Army. It's only worth a shot before I basically put holes into both of them. All I need to do is just get close. With then saying, please, I don't want any trouble. Listen, it is true. We were basically told to take care of this woman. But it is important. But you have to understand. You two of you must follow this idea as well, do you not? With Ryuji looking at Yuma, and Yuma basically looking down at Ryuji, the two of them looking quite confused, with then Tsu, even that of Josei, was also quite confused as well, with then Tsu noticing that somebody's coming down from the other alleyway, and she realized that it's Izuku. Before then, she realized that the other two people look like Izuku as well, just with different hair colors. But then she was about to say something, but then Izuku basically putting up his finger to his lips before telling her to stay quiet for a bit, as she does what Izuku wants her to do. With then stepping over that of the burnt guy who's still pretty much smoking. With then the woman continues saying, "We fight for that of the ideas of the Meta Liberation Army. We fight for the ideas of our founder, Destro, to create and form a society where every human can use their meta abilities, their quirks freely however they see please. While people can grow and basically use their quirks however they see wish, not bogged down by rules, regulations, and laws to keep us down. Don't you want that? Don't you want to create that of a world where we can basically do however we see please with our quirks? I mean, take it for example. You're using your quirks how you see fit to take us down, proving that you all..." Within soon, Ryuji sending that of a small fireball to that of her feet, before saying, "Blah, blah, blah. You keep saying this, you dumb bitch. You really think that we're using our abilities because we want to? We're doing this because it's the right damn thing to do." Within, Yuma saying, "You attacked one of our friends out of the blue, and then you plan on killing her because she doesn't share those ideas? I don't know whoever basically spread those, distorted, self-entitled, and evil ideas in your head. But these laws are basically meant to protect those who don't want to use their quirks for any malicious purpose. They want to feel safe, comfort, and protected. That's why the heroes exist. To keep people like you thinking they have the right to do whatever the hell they wish with their quirks onto people like her. That's why we stand in your way. That's why Izuku stands in your way." Within, soon, the woman saying, "Izuku? Who are you?" Within, soon, without warning, Izuku steps on that of a piece of the fishbowl guy's glass helmet. Within, cracking the glass, as she soon steps back, within saying, "Another you? Stay back, you!" As then placing all 5 of her fingers onto that of the ground. Within, a hole begins to appear right in front of Izuku. Within, Izuku basically steps back, within realizing, whoa, she can basically create holes on the ground? No, wait, can't be. It can't just be that of holes alone. Within, soon, she jumps up, heading straight for Izuku, saying, "You're dead, kid!" Within, soon, another fireball heads straight for that of the blonde-haired woman as she gets hit by it. However, however, her entire body isn't being burned. Then soon, the flames around her begins to dissipate. Within, Ryuji saying, "The hell? The hell is she able to do that? She should be burning into a godforsaken crisp!" Within, Izuku saying, "Wait, it's whatever she touches. Could it be?" Then soon, she heads straight for that of Josei saying, "Our mission is to basically kill the woman. It doesn't matter if the brat is. We can basically frame it on him anyway." As then she was heading straight for her as Josei is in fear. Before then, Izuku steps between them. Before then, soon, Izuku channeling that of Riku's electricity. Before, just as she was about to place all 5 fingers on Izuku's chest, Izuku places that of his just one finger onto that of her neck. Before then saying, "Jolt shock!" Within soon, the electricity was one concentrated point of electricity that hits that of the woman's neck. However, it hits a specific point in her neck, the electrical signal at her neck that controls her nervous system. As she's soon hit by that jolt of electricity, she soon begins to spasm on the ground and as her body and legs and joints begin to just basically flop around. Within, Izuku couldn't help but breathe, and that of a sigh of relief. Before then, Riku mentally speaking to Izuku saying, "You do know I could have stepped in where you didn't have to, Izuku." But then soon, Gil saying, "Even I could have stepped in. I could have showed you the glory of my epic power. Hell, I could have even taken care of all 3 of them without even breaking a sweat." Within Gensai couldn't help but say, "I have to agree as well. My quirk would cause more property damage and brought a bit more people, but even so, it would have caused less collateral damage than now." Then soon, hearing this, Izuku saying, "Sorry, I was right in the moment." Within, Izuku saying, "I just couldn't just sit by and do nothing." Within, all of them couldn't help but mentally say, "You just couldn't help, but you couldn't just sit by and do nothing, so your body moved on its own. We know we're you after all. We would have done the same thing." But then, soon, Izuku couldn't help but flinch a bit, and also having that an embarrassed smile as well. Within, soon, Izuku couldn't help but feel worried, saying, "Miss Josei, are you okay? Or do you need..." Within, she basically scooping up Izuku into that of her arms, saying, "Thank you, Izuku. You saved me. You really saved me. I thank you so much. I don't know how I could ever repay you." Then soon, a pro hero finally shows up, as it being Death Arms saying, "Hold it right there!" As not just Death Arms, but also that of Kamui Woods as well, alongside that of Airjet too. Then soon, Kamui Woods saying, "My word." Then, as seeing that of the 3 thugs in that of the park and that of the alleyway knocked out, burnt, and basically still looking like the female one is still a bit still suffering from the spasming. Then soon, Izuku and Josei look at each other, while both of them are also embarrassed, mainly with Josei having that of Izuku in her arms and Izuku being held by that of an older woman with 2 things basically, pushing against his chest as well. After that, his entire face begins going completely and utterly red. Within soon, Yuma saying, "Pros, sir, Death Arms, Kamui Woods, Airjet. You see, we can explain." Within soon, Ryuji just bluntly saying, "Those bastards tried to mug her. We stopped them. We beat the living shit out of them. We saved the day. You idiots took your damn sweet-ass time. Where the hell were you, bastards?" Within, Yuma couldn't help but deadpan smile with that of a sweat drop down his face, but then saying, well, I wouldn't say that cruelly, Ryuji, but something like that." As the 3 pros are still completely and utterly dumbfounded by that of Ryuji's disrespect towards them. At least that of a good 30 minutes later, Izuku, Josei begin to give their account of what has happened. with Izuku being the one sending that message to that of the police to send a pro hero, even showing his phone that he was the one that sent it a little while ago, with then putting away that of the three villains that tried to kill Josei, with then soon Death Arm saying, "You did a good job here, you kids." Within soon, Yuma, Ryuji began to say, "We're his quirk." Within Death Arm saying, "Wait, seriously?" Within Ryuji saying, "We're sentient quirks, living quirks, dude. If you can't live with it, if you can't accept that, then piss off." Within Death Arms couldn't help but get annoyed at that of Ryuji's, disrespect. Within Yuma saying, "Well, you see, sir, we are living sentient quirks, versions of Izuku that's basically store his quirks after all. We're nothing too dangerous, to be honest, sir." Within soon hearing all this, within looking at Izuku, who gets a little bit nervous, saying, "All right, kid, I gotta say I respect what you did, and you got a pretty one hell of amazing quirk if that's the case. But still, you shouldn't have gotten involved." Within Izuku saying, "But sir, within Kamui Wood steps in saying, "We're not saying you shouldn't have gotten involved, but you should have at least tried to stall them, not take them down yourself. The actions you took is basically nothing but vigilantism. You're lucky that it was made to protect in self-defense after all. If it wasn't, you would be arrested right here and now, young man. And you're lucky you're also a minor as well." Within Izuku looking down too, with that the actions that has happened, with Ryuji couldn't help but growl at them. With then soon Airjet speaking, saying, Now, guys, you're being a little too hard on the kid. Besides, an amazing quirk like his, and he was able to take care of the villains with only that of minor injuries. Turns out the guy with the fishbowl head, turns out it's made as a support gear to help him breathe outside of water. Thankfully, he was passed out, so his breathing, so he wouldn't be suffocating entirely. After all, thankful for that. We're able to give him at least that of tons of bottles of water to help him continue breathing. But even so, you were able to save an innocent civilian without causing any property damage in the process. I gotta say, a kid like him could go far. With then, Izuku couldn't help but smile at Airjet's compliments. With then, Koei Wood saying, "You're too lenient on people like him just because they have that of flashy quirks. The law is still the law, Airjet." With then, soon, Airjet saying, "All I'm saying is we don't need to cut a kid's potential and dream of becoming a hero so easily. That's because you won't be." With then, soon, both men with Izuku couldn't help but smile at that familiar voice. Even that of Ryuji and Yuma couldn't help but smile in joy, with Ryuji's having that of a, gleeful smirk and of maliciousness, as it being Agent Katakuri. With then, soon, we're showing his public hero safety badge, with then saying, "My name is Taizo Katakuri, agent for the Hero Public Safety Commission. Young Midoriya here is a special case that's under the HPSC's jurisdiction. He's given at least some special leeway about using his quirk in public, but only if it's in self-defense and the protection of somebody else. So this entire interrogation is basically in void. I'll be taking both the boy and the young lady back to their homes, if you be so kind." Within, soon, Death Arms saying, "You can't be serious," saying, "Oh, but we are." And honestly, Death Arms, you've been filed with a lot of complaints by a few civilians about your rude and basically unruly behavior and how you handle situations. You want basically another talking as well. Your agency nowadays is going to be a lot more harder to keep in that business. Just be lucky that you're still popular with the public." With then soon hearing that, Death Arms couldn't help but grumble a little bit. With then soon Izuku saying, "Sorry, Mr. Katakuri," saying, "It's okay." With then soon looking at the tall fox woman, with then saying, "You must be Miss Ipan, I must say. Midoriya has talked quite a bit about you during his time training." With then she's saying, "Oh, is that so?" With then looking at Izuku saying, "You talk about me?" But then Izuku blushing, still remembering about a little while ago, saying, Mainly because you're really nice. When I'm not talking about my other friends at, well, Some, to be honest. With then hearing this, Josei couldn't help but feel a little bit, well, embarrassed too. But embarrassedness with that of joy. With then soon. Now, we must get going. I need to get you both back home. Especially about your mother, young man. Your training has ended an hour ago, after all. With then Izuku saying, "Oh crap! I do gotta tell mom this." With then soon, both Ryuji and Yuma can help but say, "About time you recognize that." As both of them turn into that of flashes of light before heading straight back into that of Izuku's mind. With then, the three pros can help but say, "They really were sentient quirks." With then pushing the two over to that of the car as they both enter, as all three of them enter inside, before then heading straight for Izuku's apartment complex. With then soon Izuku saying, "Again, sorry about all this, sir. Don't mention it, Midoriya. Still, you did a good thing taking care of those muggers after all." With then soon Miss Joe saying, well, they didn't seem like they were muggers. They seemed like they targeted me just on purpose. I didn't even know the reason why. They just said that I should have shared the same ideas with them, and now I'm being a target because I don't." With then Sue hearing this saying, "Is that so? Tell me, can you ask the reason why?" Within Izuku basically giving his own 2 cents about the woman that tried to convince him to allow them to kill that of Josei, about how they're free to basically use their quirks however they see pleased, without any quirk laws or regulations to stop them. Not only that, they called them meta abilities, not quirks like how everybody else does. Within hearing that, Katakuri couldn't help but say, "No way in hell. It couldn't be. It was just a rumor that they were basically starting to build up." And not only that, this book, within soon, Katakuri saying, "Ma'am, can I ask you, do you have a certain book by any chance? Red covering, a black mask on it, within saying, yes, it's actually in my purse. I just realized I dropped my groceries back in the alleyway when they basically grabbed me. But still, I still have the book in my purse." Within soon looking at that of the rearview mirror as she's trying to show it off. Within saying, "That says it. Tell me, where did you get the book?" "At my workplace, actually." With then saying, "I see. Can you tell me what your workplace's name is?" As she soon gives the name, saying, "I understand. Thank you now. For the time being, I think it's best that you don't go back to your home for now. Do you have anywhere else that you could stay? Relatives? Friends, by any chance?" With then she basically shaking her head saying, "Unfortunately, all of my relatives live in that of Kyoto, actually. I moved to Tokyo mainly so I can find that of better work, actually." With then soon he began to say, "That's a shame." With then thinking, "Midoriya, is your apartment spacious enough to handle somebody like her?" Saying, "We have at least a bedroom. I think they could probably work with that at the couch. I think she can basically stay in my room, actually." With then soon here, this Josei can help but be flustered, saying, "Wait, no, you don't need to, Izuku. I can just..." With then saying, "Sorry, ma'am, but I think it's best that you do stay with that of Midoriya's. For the time being, at least. Hopefully, this attack on you may be something bigger than expected." After hearing this, she couldn't help but feel at least a little bit worried. With that, heading straight back to Izuku's place. However, on the other way, with one of the pro heroes that normally isn't located at this city, a certain pro that's pretty popular with that of the kids, just like that of the number 8 pro, Wash, as he's wearing that of a purple spandex uniform with that of a arrow on his chest, as he has quite the big ass chin, with the mask covering that of his head and his eyes. This being the pro Sliding Go, as he's basically just watching everything happen as he just soon slides away. back with that of Izuku, as currently right now, Inko can up and say, Izuku, I was pretty worried about you, what has happened, but could you please explain who this woman is? Within, both Izuku and Josei are actually both shaking in that of, well, nervousness actually. Within, soon noticing that of Katakuri behind that of the tall woman. Within saying, oh, Agent Katakuri, it's good to see you, saying, sorry to drop on you on the blue, ma'am, but it's about the situation with this young woman. Miss Josei Ipan, was it? But then she said, nodding, saying, you see, she was in that of a mugging attack, and we're afraid that this may be tied to something a lot more worse, actually. We were hoping that she would be able to stay with you and Izuku as well. It seems like she's pretty close friends with your son, so I figured that this would have been the better option out of her going home and might be attacking her home after all. With then hearing this, she came up and say, I see. She soon walks closer to Katakuri, saying, please tell me that this isn't going to be anything bad. I really don't want to want any more trouble to happen to Izuku, saying, don't worry. The HPSC will be involved in this. And you have nothing to worry about that. It will cause any you or your son trouble. We promise. Within, she's saying, I hope so. Within, she can up and narrow her eyes before having a softer look, saying, Miss Ipan, was it? Please, make yourself at home. If you like, you could take my bed, to be honest. I can take the couch, to be fair. Within, Izuku saying, no, you don't need, she doesn't need to do that. Neither do you, Mom. She can have my room. If anything, it's a lot more better. With then, soon, just saying, it's okay. I can take the couch. I'm not too picky, to be honest. With then, all three of them basically going back and forth, trying to be a little bit more, show a little bit more hospitality after all. With that of Katakuri couldn't help but smile at the hijinks between these three innocent and basically nervous and spazzing people, and thinking, what has my job become? Because honestly, this is a lot more entertaining and a lot more wholesomeness I've ever had on this damn job of mine. And I wouldn't replace it for anything. As the man couldn't help but adjust his sunglasses while seeing everything go on in front of him. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. And yeah, this is basically the last somewhat setup chapter for that of early half Izuku. As for Izuku developing new quirks, next part he will be, actually. It's mainly due to the actions of what happened to that of Josei after all. But we'll also be going straight into that of the UA entrance exam as well. So yeah, look forward to that too. At any rate, this was also a setup chapter for Izuku and Josei basically being a couple as well. So with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification key to get my videos when I upload on the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, gaming channel, side channel, other channel, Patreon, and Cash App. All linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later guys, and hope you all take care. All yours, my Shiro.
Hi everyone, this is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell. And check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!